Are we live?
Looks like we're
We
live.
are live. Hey,
Hi.
people.
You. Me.
You're not Bill.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
As you
well-
can see, I've shaved. I lost some weight. I got some work done on my face. I've
You look
grown my
amazing.
hair out a couple feet in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And
You look so different now.
I'm just such a better person overall now.
It's great because that was kind of a Anchorman quote, right? You're not Ron,
Oh yeah.
and you're wearing an Anchorman T-shirt.
Yeah, you guys always have such classic shirts on. I had to join the fun, and this was one of the only things I had. And it was a
Classic
great
shirts
one,
like
actually.
I'm a pepper, because I am a pepper, Kyle. Oh, Kyle.
Yes, stains on it.
I forgot your name was Phil. No, this is not Phil. This is Kyle.
Maybe I'm Kyle.
Say hi to Kyle, people, in the chat. Let's introduce Kyle here now.
Don't talk to me. You can't talk to me.
Kyle,
Talk to him.
you can talk to him. I give
I'm not
permission to talk
approachable.
to him. Kyle has always been behind the scenes, right, Kyle? You can think of Kyle kind of like a producer.
You can kind of think of Kyle like that. Probably more so the graphic designer.
Yes, he
The
does. He designs
financier.
all of the thumbnails. That's Kyle. All of our beautiful thumbnails. That's Kyle. Kyle has made 3 in-person appearances on the channel.
Sort
You
of.
can go back and watch Stuber, where Phil's driving a car, and you can briefly see him in the frame.
Recording it.
You can see him at the beginning of the Fast and the Furious ranking video when he is hit by a car. And you can see him in our Reservoir Dogs scene recreation, where he is a dead body on the ground.
I'm sensing a pattern.
It does tell a story, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not the first time they've hit me with a car before.
No. It's really funny because, here's a story. Me and Kyle went to the same college.
We did.
And we once did a video project. Now, our college was not a good film college. We were using tape cameras for our video projects, for our film degrees, like literally cassette tapes,
Back
right?
in 2008, I imagine.
And no, it wasn't. It was like 2014 or 2015. The project was to make an action scene, and my scene was someone gets hit by a car as they're running into the woods.
Someone.
So Kyle was that someone, and we did like 12 takes of that, but the camera sucked, and the rest of the shoot, which was like 2 hours, didn't stick. So when I went to look at the footage, all I had was like 12 shots of you getting hit by a car.
It was more abstract art. There wasn't much of a plot
Yes,
to
it's
that.
art. It's art. You don't have to know. So anyway, that's Kyle.
That's me. I'm here now.
Anything-
Forever.
Anything else you want to say about yourself before we get started?
I'm not going to be here often, just when Phil can't do it.
Yeah, well, if we're going to regularly do these live shows, or somewhat regularly, we want to have like an ensemble of cast of people who can fill in when one of us isn't here. So that's kind of what we're trying out with this video.
It's been mostly live shows, but it's not all live shows. As you can see, Phil doesn't have the kind of time he
This
used
is
to,
not
so-
a regular content. We are going to keep doing our other stuff. This is just what we've happened to be doing mostly recently.
Mostly recently.
So we'll get back to it. Anyway, let's get started. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We watched it. It was pretty good.
Right, that's what we're
Did you
talking
like
about.
it?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate the Marvel shows that they're able to breathe. You don't have to run through a 90-minute movie. They can just set stuff up. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier didn't even talk in this
They didn't
episode.
even meet in this episode.
Yeah, I'm enjoying that with the Marvel shows at this point.
A much slower start than we've seen recently. Well, I guess than what we expected, because we were showing lots of action in the trailer and whatnot. There was one action scene in this episode from the very beginning. They put it front and center just to appease those people
was
with
Bucky's
short attention
to keep you
spans like
hooked.
Phil.
There was Bucky's to keep you hooked. That little one.
There was a Bucky scene. I was very surprised by the Bucky scene, actually, but we'll get to that.
I didn't watch any of the trailers. I try not to, so I didn't have any expectations. I just try to go into it without expectations because I feel like I'll enjoy it more.
Yeah, and you're a film guy, right?
Mhm.
Let's cover that too, by the way. Kyle watches lots of Kyle, you watch lots of
I watch a lot of the moving pictures.
the moving pictures, and you watch the YouTube stuff that breaks it down, and you're that kind of guy. So
yeah, I like the video essays on YouTube.
Yeah, video essays. They're a magical thing.
That's the word.
By the way, we will be talking spoilers in this video. So if you haven't seen it, we're kind of trying a new thing. We're doing this on the day of. We're going to see how many people tune in, how many does this video have legs, right? After we cut, how many people are going to watch this? So we're giving that a try.
YouTuber stuff.
If you're watching this after the fact, hit those notifications so that you don't miss us next time, or let us know if you want us to do this later on in the week. Anyway, and we're working on we're working on being live. We're improving, so thank you for sticking with us while we do that. Hello,
Yes.
Baron Zemo. Oh, that's alarming. All right, so clearly this is Falcon's show, more so than Bucky.
At this point, yes.
At this point, that's what it appears to be. What'd you think of Falcon in this?
Well, we started with basically what the ending built upon, which Falcon doesn't think he is worthy of taking up the mantle of Captain America, being a symbol of what this country needs right now.
What the world needs. Because, as we all know, America is the world. We're the only country that matters.
Exactly. I did find it a little bit weird, that speech. Like, obviously, they were building up to introducing a new Cap. But he's like, we need a hero. We need a symbol. I'm like, there's a ton of heroes.
Yeah, I know, right?
Pick one.
I thought Falcon was great in this. I think the action scene at the beginning was the best Falcon action that we've had so far. It was really well done. I also think that the CGI and the VFX of it are actually better than what we got in WandaVision. I was trying not to be a downer, but to be honest, there were times in WandaVision where I wasn't so impressed with the CGI. Maybe I'm being a little bit of a bitch, but that's how I felt. I thought it was
throwing red balls at each other of magic. It's fine.
Nondescript.
Yes.
Witch power. So this was really cool. That whole canyon scene and everything, it was all really cool.
The one thing I did expect going into this was that they were trying to return to normal. WandaVision was a fun show they did, but this one they were like, we've got to get back into MCU mode.
WandaVision also needed to be first because it's a tribute to television, and it's the MCU's first official television show. So I can understand that, but clearly they're trying to counter the weirdness and the nicheness. Is that a word of WandaVision?
It is now. Everyone understands it's a word.
This is Marvel. Like this is what we're used to with Marvel and all of that. I love the action, and I love that he is now earning the shield, because I said in our Endgame video, if you watch that, I had a whole point that I didn't feel like the shield could go to Falcon. At the time, I thought it should go to Bucky, and we'll talk about that, because I can understand that better now, but even giving it to Falcon, to Sam, I felt like he hadn't earned that. Because he's just a guy that he met jogging. I never felt like Falcon really had the deep history that he needed to carry the shield or to really understand him. All I knew was he was in the Air Force, and he goes jogging.
Well, clearly he believes that too, because he doesn't think he's worthy of it. I don't think we are meant to think he's worthy of it. That's the journey that the show is going to take, like going to endear us to Falcon and make him worthy of it.
I like that they did that. I was surprised when he put it in the case in the museum, but I can understand that that's what the story is now. It's not him learning how to use the shield. It's him learning to be worthy of the shield and to wield that mantle of maybe not Captain America, but something similar and to the same degree.
Yeah, he's not Captain America. He's him, and that's what we're going to figure out across the show. I liked how realistic it was that he turned in the shield. They're like, thank you for putting it where it belongs. They put it in the case, and then they immediately take it out of the case.
My first thought when he put the shield in the case was, we know Falcon's going to be using this shield in the show. We know that. We've seen it. It's in the trailers. It's in everything. You know it. Even if you haven't seen the trailers, I thought is either he's going to steal it from them because he needs it, or he's going to walk into the building and be like, Actually, I changed my mind. I want to have it back now. Steve said I could.
Stanley's ghost is going to be mopping, and the shield's
And
going to be gone, and
that
he's
was
going
what
to
I
be
was
like,
thinking.
"Oh crap!"
This museum has been robbed before. Maybe they should stop putting weapons that need to be used in the museum. Poor Stanley. Anyway, from that point on, it was pretty much all character development, right?
Yes.
Did you like that they did that, or did you feel like it was missing some action?
No, like I said, I like that they let it breathe. The character development is what's more important right now, because if they just keep punching each other and we don't care about them, then it's not going to compel people to keep watching. So obviously we want character development behind the action, which I think it's doing a pretty good job so far.
Yeah, that was what I realized watching this is I don't know Falcon and I don't know Bucky. Falcon having a sister and having parents, I was like, what? That's a thing? People have parents? That was my first, I thought, oh, Falcon has a sister. Why did I never even think about like Falcon's personal life and his family and all of that?
Do you think that's something in the movies that they just didn't have time for, or they left out, like they left it ambiguous on purpose because they knew they were going to get to it?
Maybe a little bit of both. Because another thing that occurred to me, and we were actually talking about this off camera, was not just his personal life. We don't even know where we know where he got his suit, but why is he the only one that has it? There's a lot that it seems like they didn't have time for, or they were leaving ambiguous.
That was my first question that they did touch on, was when he was flying. It's like, why is he the only one that has this suit? We know that he had it in Winter Soldier, so it probably wasn't Stark tech at that point. It was an Air Force prototype at least. And it looks to be working pretty fantastically, so you'd think they would make more of them. That's basically what Iron Man 2 was about.
On it.
Yeah, but then the guy was like, our engineers would be confused at your Stark tech there, as he was working on fixing Red Wing.
Oh,
so we know that it was Stark tech upgraded, but people could be, the war machine to his Iron Man. We could have people with the not Stark tech upgraded suit, and that I assume they're going to touch on that, because aside from that line,
that's
Stark
something
tech,
that I hope to see in this as well. Yeah, and something that's funny from the comics, just to mention, is that Red Wing being Stark tech upgrade was an MCU. I don't know, retcon's not the word, but that's MCU specific, because in the comics, and I remember reading this back in the day when Cap 2 came out. In the comics, it's literally a bird that he has like a psychic connection to, and he can tell it to do things or something. So I don't think that the MCU was quite ready for that. I feel like they could do it now that we have characters like Pegasus who ride on a flying horse.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, I am a movie
Let me just pause you there.
I am a movie buff, but I am not a Marvel comic stan.
Oh, neither am I.
Yeah.
I enjoy learning about Marvel comics through the movies. It has so much to offer. I trust the movies to tell it to me accurately in their own way, So that's good. So we have a question here in the comments. Somebody's just tuning in. Maddox Ferrets. First of all, I'm Alex, and that's Phil. But that's not Phil, that's Kyle. Phil is not here. Well, he just retracted the message. Once again, for anyone who's tuning in, Phil couldn't be here today, but we're trying to do this ensemble cast thing where we can keep the live shows going if one or both of us isn't here.
You can call me Better Phil.
This is Better Phil. You said it. I'm allowed to repeat it now. And this is Kyle. He's been behind the scenes ever since we started. So you can trust Kyle to give good opinions, right,
You can
Kyle?
trust me.
Okay. So what you were saying about the Stark Tech getting out and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Rhodes. Rhodey was in this. And I almost wonder if that's going to be a lead-in to Armor Wars, because Rhodey is going to be in Armor Wars, another Disney Plus show coming next year, in which I'm guessing somebody has to regulate Stark Tech now.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're kind of I mean, the rumor is Hammer Tech is coming back, and it's just going to be this whole race to control the armor and keep it safe and in the right hands and all of that stuff. So it'd be interesting to see if Falcon's suit, if they go into the backstory about Falcon's suit in this, and maybe that can tie in to Armor Wars somehow. That's a
Yeah,
that's a long
you
shot.
can view it
but
as a
it's thought.
positive. You can view it as a positive or negative, and that'll be what's to come. But they're probably gonna keep roadieing this in and out just to get you excited for the other show. So hopefully, they're probably gonna do that. Hopefully, they do it in a very respectful fashion, keeping it inherent to the plot and not just like, oh, there's Rhodey.
He fit in. It was a nice cameo. It's nice that they can just do that
they
now.
were like the eulogy or like ceremony.
Yeah.
So it's fine he was there at this point, but we'll see what's to come.
He gave some good words to Sam, some words that he needed to hear. That he was the mentor. He was the mentor in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it looks like he was pretty healed up. He was walking around just fine.
So we like the character development. We like that we're diving further into Falcon, but do we like that he had to get a bank loan? I feel like the bank loan has to be spoken about, right?
I think there's 2 points about the bank loan. It's one, is it important and interesting to the show? And 2, is it what we just want to see on screen while watching the show? I think those are 2 separate points.
I had to laugh.
Yeah, like do you want to see him getting a bank loan? Is that entertaining to you? And 2, how important is it to the story?
Hold on, okay, this just occurred to me. You're wearing an Anchorman shirt. We've already done an Anchorman reference. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. We literally just saw an Avenger denied a bank loan.
Who's best friends with the Human Torch.
Oh my god. Wow. That's crazy. We literally just saw that joke. Like, ever since I watched Anchorman, I've wanted to see a superhero denied a bank loan. I never realized that was something inside of me that I've just got to witness.
So there you go. It was important. But what it means to the story, I think something that everyone wants from the MCU is consequences. That's what everyone, since like the first Avengers, has been screaming for, consequences. And this is a scene that shows consequences of the blip. So
that was what WandaVision was about too.
Yeah,
dealing and confronting and accepting consequences.
And you could argue about how well they dealt with consequences at the end of WandaVision, but right now we see lasting consequences. I think it's just based on the scene. It looks like they're trying to parallel discrimination in America. America's legacy of discrimination, just based on the absurdity of like how they were denied. Like, we can't give you a loan because you haven't had a job in the last 5 years. Bro, I've been dead. I couldn't have had a job. Yeah, well, sorry. Like, I have a job now, government contracts, here's my papers, but you haven't had a job in the last 5 years. Like, that's absurd on its face. But also it's super realistic.
Yeah,
which is another interesting
there's
thing.
always this political angle to everything, and I like that I feel like they do it very well. I mean, back in Captain America, The Winter Soldier, and Avengers: Age of Ultron, there was this political angle that people are trying to win a war before it starts, and whenever they do that, innocent people die. And then the Sokovia Accords happen, and that was a political angle, and that put the Avengers against each other. And they've always, and it's usually through Cap's stories or through his sidekicks now. That corner of the universe, they've always been able to use that very well to flesh out the political corner of stuff, because the blip is a fascinating thing, and everyone is trying to piece their lives back together after it now.
Yeah, I think that's what Falcon's sister is going to be, her part in the story moving forward, because of her relationship with, like, their relationship with their parents' boat and like trying to manage the kids and everything. So just, it's interesting, back to like the bank part. Like, think about everyone else that's not like them that has to go through this, because everyone disappeared. Like, they're gone for 5 years. They come back, like, they don't have their jobs anymore. Like, think about if you buy a house, your house is gone. Like people have had to manage, if you have family or anything, they've all had to manage without you. And the bank says, well, people disappeared and they came back, so there's like a lot more like halts in place, like however you want to say, people are getting denied more because there's a bigger demand. And from a business sense, you could say, yeah, it makes sense. A lot of people need money. Bank just can't go handing out money. But in a social well-being, like societal manner, you'd think the government would have a program in place to be like, all these people were gone, we need a program to help uplift them. And we're seeing from that bank scene that they're not getting the help that they need.
Yeah.
And you could only speculate on how that affects people across the country in universe.
Well, you can expect and hope that society will eventually adjust and help those who need the help.
Yeah, but
we've been watching the government and society attempt to adjust to how things are right now in the real world. And that's kind of an interesting. Society took maybe 6 months to adjust in some way to COVID. I went there.
It's so funny how shows just like push COVID aside, because if anyone watches this in 5-10 years, then everything made now would look so dated.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, that was made then.
Yeah.
They're trying to avoid that.
Yeah. I also think it's clear that the writers or the director maybe should do a little more research on boat maintenance. There was one shot where you saw him working on the boat, and he flicked a wire and pushed a pipe that wouldn't move, and just kind of touched a valve, and then he went and tried to turn it on. He was like, "Damn,
boats!"
Well, I think we've covered Falcon. What about Bucky? Let's talk about Bucky.
He
only had 2 scenes, or maybe
at the beginning, you thought that the first scene wasn't a dream sequence. I assumed this is a flashback or something that's happening with his
I feel like
fight.
I should have assumed that, but I didn't. So I was a little bit like, WTF is going on? Why is his hair long and all that?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just stupid.
I thought maybe it could, that's not the, it could be where he's starting. It's not the worst place to start, but I see why they went past it for obvious reasons, so we could jump into more of his consequences instead of keep trudging along with something we've seen already. And you've already talked about how you don't know Falcon. Talk about how you know nothing about Bucky now.
I don't. He said, I have 4 siblings and my parents have passed, and I said, who are they? And I also question how many people know who he is. Is he a public figure? If he says I'm Bucky, is he going by an alias? I didn't pick up on this. What exactly is his status right now? Because I don't think when he said I'm 106 and she laughed, she didn't know that he wasn't kidding.
Yeah, but we do know that his face was all over the newspapers when the King of Wakanda was killed and he was framed. It's Bucky Barnes manhunt.
Okay.
And
I was trying to refresh myself on that.
And so there was that whole business, but we don't know how many people remember that or saw or care.
Yeah.
So he could be just sliding under the radar.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes with him. Probably people hate him if they know who he is. But
it looks like he has that list of people he's trying to make amends with. So maybe they'll use that as a device to explore his past, what he's done wrong. And
it's a redemption arc, much like Wanda. I think he's had a very troubled past, and trying to be a hero again has not gone well for him. And he's almost always made out to be a villain when he just wants to be the good guy.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of Bucky's personality really, because the only time we've seen with him as a good guy after he turned into Winter Soldier was him feeling like crap that he's hurt so many people. And so we haven't seen personality, more brooding and fighting. They're here's your arm, you have to come back and fight now.
Yeah, he's got a vibranium arm now. It's pretty cool. But we saw a little bit of him back in the 40s. And after that, it's literally just been brainwashed or, I'm sorry. But I was surprised seeing him. This was another thing. You have family members. You have a personality. He had attitude in the session, the therapy session. He had an attitude. And it occurred to me that I don't think I've ever noticed that attitude before. And it's not that it doesn't fit him or it came out of nowhere. It's just, these characters haven't had the time to breathe. It's the first thing you said during this video. They're letting their characters breathe. They're doing a really good job of that, I think.
Yeah.
So I very much enjoyed seeing that. Clearly, at least based off this first episode, this is more Falcon's story, but it'll be interesting to see if he gets more of the focus moving forwards.
Yeah. Do you think we saw Bucky hanging out with this old gentleman? Do you think that that's kind of his life now. Like he lives in that area, it looks like. Do you think he's around that dude because he's on his list and has to make amends, or because he has a deeper relationship to him? Like, do you think he's going to drop him?
I think he has to make amends, but also he just maybe just a part of him wants to be there just to make sure that he's okay, or something like that.
Well, it looks like as he went to his apartment, he's trying to tell him what he did, but he can tell the dude's still grieving heavily over it. And so he doesn't want to like hurt him more, but he also is trying to make amends. So he's trying to deal with what to do.
Yeah. How do you do that though? How do you explain who you are when you are Bucky Barnes?
Let's focus on the important things. He just left his date. He just walked out. What a mean person.
He wasn't very good on that date. He was brooding. Maybe she likes that kind of thing.
I liked the date. It was like low maintenance. It wasn't like, would you like to go to dinner with me? It's like, hey, do you want to drink after I get off my shift and play Battleship? I was like, that's pretty cool.
It made me want to play Battleship. I haven't played Battleship in probably like 15
Let's play
years.
Lego Star Wars.
Well, what do we have here? We've got...
I don't know. Do you ever acknowledge what's behind you here?
No, we never... Only the hat. Only the hat.
Of course.
I am just so on brand today.
You don't have your...
I'm laying low. I'm the Winter Soldier.
You don't have your suit jacket on. You're very much not on brand, actually.
It's okay. I've got plenty of Dr. Pepper around me. Well, that's Bucky. How about the villains? We got about 5 minutes left.
I don't know the villains' names.
Yeah, they're still kind of. I mean, with the trailers, they were kind of keeping it close to the chest. Who's the villain in this? What exactly is this about, other than Bucky and Sam getting along, and who's wielding the shield, and let's move on from Cap. We knew that was coming, but who is the villain? We know Baron Zemo was going to be in it. He did not appear in this, but
he was on the list,
in what capacity?
Right?
Was he?
I thought I saw him on the list.
Oh, on the in the museum?
Make amends with my past, whatever.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I thought that was on the list. Someone tell me if I'm wrong. I thought Zemo was on that list.
Maybe. Well, because Zemo's backstory is that he lost his family in Sokovia. And Bucky didn't have much to do with that. Bucky was just trying to get the Avengers to fight each other because they didn't save his family. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if that, if they do anything with that. But what capacity? And Sharon Carter as well is supposed to be in it, but in what capacity? The organization, the Flag Smashers, seem to be the main.
Yeah, it was the main thing they were trying to set up.
Yeah,
it was a little odd because what we know about them right now is that they're a terrorist organization that wants to eliminate borders. That's all that they are.
It's interesting. Well, borders via. I mean, they believe the world was better during the blip, which is a very interesting setup. The world was in harmony. Thanos was right. That whole thing. It's a really scary thought, but to see it for 5 years, to witness it, you can certainly believe that there are large groups of people who say this is it. Like, we did it. We got through the ringer, and we can be this way now.
You can also say that all the people who believe it are the ones who didn't get blipped.
Yeah. It's interesting because bringing everyone back in Endgame is seen to be a miracle. They did it, and they also showed this in WandaVision with Monica coming back. The chaos of it, the unorganization. How do we deal with this now that we've adjusted? Now we have to adjust again. And the hospital was going crazy. Like, everyone's coming back. We can't deal with it. It just all of that.
They made a comment about there being double the fish in the water.
Yeah. Flag Smashers. Be interesting. I mean, who's behind the Flag Smashers? I have a theory that it's John Walker, who we can now talk about, who's the guy at the end of Captain America. Sorry, as Captain America, right? This guy is played by Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's son, who is also in the MCU. The question is, does he have superpowers? Because obviously one of the Flag Smashers did. So it seems like the serum is like loose now or something.
Well, like, let's work with what we've got. Like, at the end, they showed him as Captain America at the podium, and that was it. So based on that shot, it looked like he was scrawny, like a little dude
Yeah,
in a
it
big
looked
outfit.
silly on him.
It looked like they obviously want you to feel like, who's this little punk? That's not Cap. Like, what are you trying? You're trying to fill these big shoes. Who are you?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's what they were going for with this like dude here.
In the comics, this is a character that played Captain America because the government needed a Captain America, I think. Or he always thought that he could do it better, and he becomes a very brash version of Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
He's not exactly the right symbol and is somewhat of an antagonist. I don't know much about it. You're welcome to say something in the chat.
Yeah, it looks like it just, again, working with what I got, it looks like he's a talking head, a symbol.
Yeah.
Like, go tell the people this.
He's
okay.
He's definitely not a good guy. I have a hard time. If you tell me that he's a good guy, I don't believe you.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's being used and he's naive and he like wants to do the right thing in his heart, but he has no idea what's going on around him.
It could be he could be like a Trojan horse. Like he could be like the leader of the bad guys, the Flag Smashers, and now he's got like this mantle and he's got power now. That's speculation. That's probably not even true. How he fits into it, how does Baron Zemo fit into it, and also how does Batroc fit into it?
Mm-hmm.
Batroc, do you remember Batroc? Do our viewers remember Batroc? Batroc? I don't know how to say it.
I remembered the dude after you showed me the photo, but not in the scene. I couldn't lock onto his face.
I saw his face. I'm going to show it to you right now because we don't have
a very dark computer screen.
We don't have the software to show you graphics, so this is how we do it now.
Nothing.
I think you can see it.
See that dark face?
He was in in Captain America 2, the Winter Soldier. He in the comics is Batroc the Leaper. All I know about him and what I'm getting is that he just likes to kick people. But he was the guy that he was chasing in the air in the opening action sequence in the helicopters. He was the last one in the helicopter that got hit by the missiles. He jumped out last minute. So whether or not he's going to continue to be a guy, it was weird to bring him back because he was more just a henchman. He had one fight.
But also he fought Captain America. Like the dude.
He did do an okay job of fighting Captain America. Yeah.
Yeah.
Without the serum or anything.
So just from that, we know that he's a threat.
Yeah.
The last thing that I want to get out is how are they going to contain this story to Falcon and Winter Soldier? And that's going to be a question moving forward in the MCU. It was a question in Spider-Man. It was a question sort of in WandaVision. How are they going to create a story in which there's all these heroes flying around, but all of those heroes can't solve the conflicts?
Yeah, but it's still personal to these people. They tend to do a really good job with that.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that it didn't work was Thor 2.
Yeah.
Because it's like if reality is imploding or something, where are the Avengers? Reality imploding, big consequences.
Like call someone.
But somebody has a staff. We got to get them all. So, but they tend to do a very good job. Either it's a personal story or it's like a hidden threat that only they know about. And, blah blah blah.
And right now we saw at the beginning sort of restrictions. They're like, you're part of the U.S. government. You can't fly into this area. So they have boundaries.
Some no name did just come out as the next Captain America, though. So I feel like maybe some people will come out of the woodwork, but we'll see.
We will see.
This is a very different show from WandaVision. It's not meant for speculation.
It's meant to get back to normal.
Back to normal. It's meant, cliffhangers, yes, but it's not what's going on. And it did feel like the other thing is it didn't feel like WandaVision, though it's meant to keep you guessing. At least the first episode felt like its own thing. This felt like it just kind of ended partway through a story, It didn't feel like one piece of something.
It felt
bigger.
like an intro.
It felt like the first act of something.
Mm-hmm. So it's back to normal, but they have to balance the line of getting back to normal, but showing us something we've never seen before. So I'm interested to see on how they walk that line.
They seem to be doing a very good job with it. I think the best way to do that is through the characters who we are just realizing we don't know at all. That's my big takeaway from this. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm also
excited.
Where they get exceeded is a word though, so I'm excited to see where they go with it. That's our show. That was 35 minutes. Kyle.
That was me.
Kyle, you did it.
Yep. I'll see
Big
you.
round of applause for Kyle with
I'll
some
s-
clapping emojis.
I'll see you all at the finale.
We might not do every episode. We might do every other episode or
Definitely
something.
didn't do every episode of WandaVision.
No, we didn't. But we'll feel it out as we go. Thanks for watching, people.
Thanks
And
for watching.
hit that like button because the almighty algorithm likes it.
Thanks for watching my first
follow us
full
on Twitter.
show.
Thanks for watching, Kyle. And do you want to see more Kyle? And thank you for being a pepper. I think we're good.
Okay.
Bye.